So I'm listening to I don't even know when that came out, that Ghostwriter thing with the Drake and The Weeknd. I guess it was yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
I don't know when it came out, but I'm listening to this and I'm realizing this is one of those kind of benchmark moments. Like, this is kind of one of those chapter marker type things.
Like a Napster moment.
It just became... The reason it became real is because everybody was like, "Oh, that, you know, I can play that song." Like, it was no longer about the analysis of how effective it was, whether it was or not, whether you could tell that it was AI generated or not. Wasn't necessarily the whole conversation. It was like, "Hey, do you like this melody?" And people were like, "I mean, I kind of like that melody." And anybody in this office wasn't alone on that, because the play count was racking up on this thing. Mm-hmm. Indicative of people's interest in it. And there's a lot of AI generated stuff out there, so it's not to say that it might be amplified slightly by that, but even compared to other AI generated stuff, this is going harder from the perspective of performance. So, like, I think on TikTok it had 15 million views. Yeah, here we go. Heart on My Sleeve is the name of the song. It was removed from Spotify and Apple Music on Monday. I believe Universal Music Group, yeah, UMG, was flipping out. They're like, "You can't do this." Mm-hmm. Now, I know...
who's to blame? Like, this person is still anonymous.
Well, they just go after the streaming platforms and say, "Hey, listen, don't piss us off, because we've got a huge catalog of music that's on there, and we've got the leverage."
Yeah.
You got this user Ghostwriter 977 basically put together this song featuring Drake and The Weeknd, synthesized via AI.
We're not gonna play it, are we?
I mean, I don't even know why we can't play it. Like, why can we not play it? Yeah, play it.
I think we're going to be taken down.
Okay,
right?
Well, we're not going to put in the title or something. I mean, listen, I don't know, man. This is all so fringe right now. Like, this didn't happen. This song didn't happen.
Okay.
Like, this has got to be a re-upload. I don't know. It says Dago. This only has 5,000. I think it's a re-upload. Listen to this.
I came in with my ex like Selena, the flex, bumping Justin Bieber, the flavor ain't left, she know what she need, all she blessed, giving me my best, yeah. I got my heart on my sleeve with a knife in my back, what's with that, 21, I love him, then my brother, that's my shot, Metro made the beat, so you know that it's gon' slap, yeah, it's gon' slap, time, run it back. Talking to a diva, yeah, she on my nerves. She think that I need her, kick her to the curb. All I know is you could've had the world, yeah, you were my world. These girls right now.
Okay, pause it right now. Pause it here. The Weeknd doesn't sound like The Weeknd. All right, to be clear, The Weeknd doesn't sound like The Weeknd. Is that what does that have to do? Like, as far as a training perspective, like. Is there more? Does Drake train better for some reason? Like, is the Weeknd going to improve? Is there some sort of nuance to that voice that's more difficult to synthesize? I don't know. But see, the thing is, we're at a point now where you're actually analyzing whether you like the song or not. You're no longer in the realm of, oh, wait a minute, is that actually Drake? You're just kind of. You're floating along in a way where you're just kind of, it doesn't seem as important to you anymore. It's just a split second moment. It doesn't seem as important to you anymore. It was like, it is exactly like that Netflix moment where at one point people were like, yeah, but you got to hear it on the CD, or yeah, but you got to buy it or whatever. And then eventually everybody was like, nah, it's good enough. It's good enough, close enough, I'll listen to it. Whatever, good enough. Whatever the bit rate was on it, and whatever you waited a day for it, and then it sped up, and then next thing you know, boom, everybody's converted over to digital music, and then the music industry as a whole has to adjust and adapt. Now, back then it was much more straightforward. You have Metallica, they push back, they go, wait a sec, we charge money for those songs, we don't want to give that up. And then the tech companies and the record labels get together and they go, this technology is so powerful, we think people are going to do it anyways. So we got to like bring the price down, or we got to go towards streaming. We got to change our entire business model, our profit margins. Everything's going to change. It's going to become more about shows. And now you think about the implications here, where even Drake himself is listening to this and going, why am I spending 6 hours in the studio recording a song? If you can train that well, and I didn't even partake in it, I didn't even go to the top AI dudes and sit down and train each syllable in full resolution, then what's it going to be like when I do that, when I embrace it and I just write down the lyrics, send it in via email, and next thing you know, I approve the beat, and all I got to do is sign off on the song. I don't need to re-record every time because my voice is synthesized. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to do that. I mean, we're kind of in this realm right now where I think there's going to be a lot of people that want to make a case for artistry and say, no, there's some degree of uniqueness to how I perform it, but that's in the short term.
I agree with you. I think people gravitate towards good enough. If the song is good, okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah, it's convenience. We always select for convenience and speed. And I was saying to you right before we started filming, you're like, okay, well, why isn't it AIU then? Well, here's the difference, okay? And it probably will be at some point. It's a speed thing. These artists don't put out enough music. And I don't mean that I get it. Like, it's to approve of all this stuff, to work and like what you're working on, and you throw out songs that you don't like you're a human. I get it. But compared to the pace of the internet, it leaves a gap for this type of AI opportunity. Whereas you have people like us that talk every day, and it's actually a margin thing. Like, our time is easier in this realm than it would be to do the AI equivalent, to train it, to process it, to produce it, and to have it sound anywhere close to natural. But music, on the other hand, is this like high value stuff, that higher margin stuff that only comes out every so often. In some cases, never mind a couple times a year. You might be waiting for your favorite artist to put out something sounding new. You might be waiting 3-4 years in some cases. Mm-hmm. I saw the thing at Coachella where Frank Ocean performed for the first time in whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
Play the song in the next verse. Play it.
Say she from Toronto, but can't find it on the map. That's on me, I put it in the past. Talking to a diva, yeah, she on my nerves. She think that I need her, kick her to the curb. All I know is you could've had the world, yeah, you were my. I came in with my ex like Selena, the flex, ayy. Bumping Justin Bieber, the flavor and left, ayy. She know what she need, all I need, all she blessed, ayy. Giving me my best, ayy. Yeah, I got my heart on my sleeve with a knife in my back. What's with that, ayy? 21, I love him, then my brother, that's my slack, ayy. Metro made the beat, so you know that it's gon' slap, ayy. Yeah, it's gon' slap.
I think this is a moment. I think we're spending a moment together right now. Like, as a group, I think we're spending a moment where the whole thing changes. And this is a moment that people could remember as like the kind of marker on the convincing nature or the potential to become convincing for this type of content. Mm-hmm. And people are saying, why would you want to speed something up like creativity? Well, guess what? We're in a convenience culture, an incredibly attention deficit culture where it's not what's good. It's what's new. It's what's right now. It's what just happened. And our technology kind of led us down that path. And of course, all of us make an effort to kind of curb that wherever possible. But en masse, at scale, that is what people are selecting for. Whether you as an individual like it or not, that is what people are selecting for. And certainly the music business, like music as a commodity, you look at how short songs have gotten. You look at the streaming nature where you can skip tracks so easily from one to the next. It already became a thing that we throw in the trash can 30 seconds later. Mm-hmm. It already became that.
It's not something that is really special anymore.
It's not a ritual to it.
Yeah,
I mean, but
listening to it or creating it.
We try. We try to protect the things that we care about. We try to insulate them from external forces. At the same time, everything has this push to become a product, essentially. And the music business is guilty for partaking in that for so long, like turning everything into a product and a single and a marketing ploy. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they're going to find a way to use this because I don't think they're going to have a choice at a point here.
Do you think most artists will embrace it? Or are they just going to...
As I suggested, I do not think that they do not have a choice. You're going to have your Metallicas, you're going to have your Resistance, and you're going to have no possibility of complete purity. You're going to have no landscape where this can be policed properly. It's not going to exist. It's going to be, the more you try to suppress it, the more it pops up. Universal Music came in and tried to get rid of that track. And guess what? All the re-uploads, all the TikTok usages, all the sharing going on. You try to suppress it right now this second, and maybe it's not this song. Maybe it's the next one, or maybe it's the one after that. And you know what the internet does. The internet does internet. And they say, oh, I can't listen to it? Where can I get it? Mm. Oh, you're telling me I can't listen to it? Where can I get it? Yeah. There's another one that just came out we're going to react to as well. It's called...
It's on YouTube?
Winter is cold. Cold winter. Winter is cold. Winter cold. Drake. You got it. It's already there. Suggested. This is happening rapidly now. They're going to shut down one. The next one's going to come. Yeah, play the top one.
When it's cold where I'm from, yeah, I got enemies, okay, the winter's cold where I'm from, they try enemy, I swear the winter's cold where I'm from, they try to sentence me, okay, the winter's cold where I'm from, we had them tended key, I swear that pussy told on us, now that nigga dead to me, I got it on my own, I ain't had no one to fend for me, I never sold my soul, I will never let it get to me, in Cali with the rose, yeah, I'm riding with a felony, she's stripping on the pole, I won't let it get the best of me, I got it on my own, I ain't had no one defending me. She said she play a role. Now she tryna steal the recipe. I had to hit the road. Cause I didn't like her energy. I swear that bitch be popping mollies like a remedy. Spanish bitch, a hot tamale. She be blessing me. Shoot the house like paparazzi. They ain't catching me. I'm riding in a fucking Mazda. Pushing hella keys, I made it to the top floor. Now they tryna lock the door. About to get the tops cold. Now they tryna pull a cord. Fuck it till she got sold. Now she says she wants some more. Linked it till they buy for sure. Wake up and say bonjour. About to go to friends. We outside in public, baby. Please pull up your prints. If they say it's up, then we ain't even shaking hands. Pull up with a beef and now they wanna change the plans. Reason why they running, cause we shooting at they mans, yeah. Hey, and it's all part of the plan. Why she keep on calling? Cause she know I'm high demand. So in love with me, I got her on command. She sucked me inside the coupe, I say, and I'm your biggest fan. Yo, she pull up whenever I land. I made it to the top, so you can see I'm living grand. I'm in Cali with some bitches on the beach, we bring a sand. Keep that 30 on the seat and shoot like Curry with the left hand. Yeah, ballin' so damn hard, I need a Def Jam. Yeah, Rollie all the mother right and left hand. Yeah, she don't play a role and she gon' get banged. Yeah. When it's cold where I'm from, yeah, I got enemies, okay, the winter's cold where I'm from, they try enemy, I swear the winter's cold where I'm from, they try to sentence me, okay, the winter's cold where I'm from, we had them tended key, I swear that pussy told on us, now that nigga dead to me, I got it on my own, I ain't had no one to fend for me. I never sold my soul, and I will never let it get to me. Cali with the rose, yeah.
Yeah, it covers AI as well. I don't think a dog like that exists. His house doesn't look like that. I bet you it's all different elements put together.
Huh.
You're basically gonna have to track like everything, and I think it will get to a point like everything else where people are just trained. People are trained to listen to the trained music, to look at the trained images, and it just becomes some sort of new normal in which, I don't know. I mean, there is like maybe an upside to it where people say, well, now the live performance is emphasized because it's like, whoa, the person's really there. And you can, that is like the ultimate form of verification. But it's.
Imagine Drake singing the AI song.
Well, that's
what
that's what people are saying. And by the way, you look at this. This is 28 subscribers, 5,000 views. Is it the original place it was uploaded? I don't know, probably not. And it's each one is like that. Like the Ghostwriter one. There's another one there. Heart on my sleeve and 494 views. So guess what? You're going to try to suppress it. It's going to pop back up. Algorithms are going to make sure you find what you're looking for. It's going to, UMG is only going to be able to cut off the biggest heads, and then other littler heads are going to grow, except there's going to be more of them. And it's just going to go on and on like this. Here's what UMG said in their statement. The training of generative AI using our artists' music represented both a breach of our agreements and a violation of copyright law. The music publisher added that platforms had a legal and ethical responsibility to prevent the use of their services in ways that harm artists. While there are intellectual property issues, it's not really clear whether the label or Drake and The Weeknd have a claim under traditional copyright law, given that the song in question isn't something the artist ever wrote or sang. Ever wrote or sang.
It's not even a cover.
This is just the beginning of what's likely to be a long and complex conflict between excitement over deploying artificial intelligence in pop culture and efforts to protect copyright. Now, what does Drake do? I'll tell you what Drake does. Drake, I'm talking to you. You embrace it. All right? I hate to say it. You embrace it and you lean into it. And you figure out a way to leverage it. Because I think, I mean, you, like, from a marketing perspective, he's kind of been on the cusp in the past. And history kind of shows us that when you're the guy trying to uphold the old way, that eventually you get stomped over. And it becomes very difficult to keep progress at bay, to keep it at the door, to keep the wolves on the other side. Because they're chomping away and they're salivating. And that's the way technology seems to operate. It gets better and better and better. And eventually you're going to sit there staring at it saying, oh my God, I let it get so big. And what I'm saying right now seems so antiquated. And this is just the writing on the wall. It's not a matter of it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the sooner there's recognition of this, that it's much like how Elon talks about AI in relationship to us and our intelligence. It's integration or death. It's integration or complete extraction. You either exit completely or you integrate so you can compete. Unfortunately. And based on his business sense in the past and the fact that we have a limited lifespan here, I personally see him moving towards integration. Integrate with the AI. Put out more music.
Yeah.
Use it to accelerate things.
Well, someone has to embrace it.
Use it to accelerate beat making and recording. And I know that makes people uncomfortable. But guess what? It's not a question. It isn't a question of if. It's a question of when. We need to stop talking about if. I've been looking at technology now for a decade. There are moments, if you're paying attention, you notice, and you go, oh, really? The lawyers are going to stop this? The lawyers. Yeah, that's worked well in the past.
It's so fast, this kind of technology. I think maybe like a month ago, we were just like laughing at it. Oh, it's a fun time, Kanye. Like some sort of Hey There Delilah music. And then now it's just getting more real. You know? Have you said your piece?
Why? You got something else?
No.
You want to move on?
Well, this topic is always going to be developing. Just AI, new trends. This one being pretty big at this point. So hopefully we can try to update everyone as we go.
So you want to move on?
Yeah.
This clip you just watched is sponsored by LaterCase. If you have been looking for an impossibly thin case to put on your brand new smartphone, you need to check out LaterCase, available for both Android and iPhone. Check the description of this clip in order to get a special offer.